Smooth, simple, easy, no errors Tuesday night of Shoutcasting. I'm feeling it. Yeah. I'm calling it. They say name it and claim it. Or what was it that I heard last night? Name it and claim it. I can't remember the other one. Darn it. Bruce Carper, a friend of mine, had a really good alternate phrase to name it and claim it. But either way, we're naming it, we're claiming it. It's going to be good. Zed, the first ban from Hardstuck Gold, always a strong champion. What I'm interested in seeing is I've heard a lot of complaints online as I was trolling around some of YouTube's today about Zoe. Is she going to be the 100% ban rate? Because everyone seems to be saying she's so unfun to play against, she's so unfun to deal with, but she doesn't always get banned, and I don't get that. If she's so unfun to play with, just ban her.
The thing about Zoe is that, like, I don't have so much of a problem with Zoe's damage. Like, if you land that little bitty skill shot through minion waves, okay, you deserve some damage. You deserve a decent amount of damage if it's from that far away. Maybe slow down the particle a little bit to balance it out. But the problem is when you watch Zoe in a game and her passive that gives her the free, what is it, Lichbane proc. Plus Lichbane, I've seen Zoe's kill ADCs just by missing Q, missing bubble, doing the port thing, and landing 3 auto attacks, and you still kill. There should be severe penalties for Zoe missing her skill shots, is the thing.
There should be severe penalties for Team -20 LP not banning away Wincarnation's Alistar. This guy is a just unbelievably good player on that champion, and they allow it to get through. So obviously someone on the side of -20 LP, or maybe that's why they're -20 LP, is because they don't do smart things like ban the Alistar. We'll see if they know who the right person to ban away. They did ban away Draven from TSM Double, so that's one good thing in their name. But going back to Zoe, as Vigil picks that up, you think she should get hard nerfed.
To be entirely fair, they have not banned Darius either. And if Zeno is smart right here, he'll pick up Darius for Seal.
Ooh, would have been smart. We'll see if it gets picked up by the side of Hardstuck Gold, if they're going to try to counter it, or if they feel like they have something that can deal with it. Again, they've shown that strong CC is able to take down Darius. It's one of those things of hard ganks. I wanted to comment real quick as well that I watched a video about a guy who plays Alistar. There is, way back in Season 3 and 4, there was another lane, if you will, that few people would pick up and play, but it was a pretty big deal, which was called the Roaming Champion. All you did all game long was roam and make ganks. It's similar to the jungle, but because you're the support and your entire focus is simply helping your teammates to achieve success, you're not necessarily farming the jungle. You're just going lane to lane to lane to lane to lane. You queue up with a bottom lane that's really safe, like an Ezreal that can handle himself post level 5, and then you roam. Alistar is capable of doing that. I doubt Wincarnation is going to do that because he likes to get his ADC incredibly fed. But still, no Darius. We'll see if he gets banned away in bans number 2.
Yeah, and I'm expecting that to be first ban or second ban. Yep, there it is. They really should have picked that up. But all that to say, we'll see who ends up carrying this game out. We've got Akali, we've got Zoe, and we've got Caitlyn. So some real powerhouse picks on the side of -20 LP. Diana, one-shot champion, and we know Wincarnation's Alistar is just about as clean as they come. Jhin banned away, report they banned my favorite champion.
Because Doublelift is so good. They're banning away more ADCs. They're trying to continue to hit this bottom lane. And Zeno, feeling confident enough, takes the Caitlyn for the bottom lane AD carry role on the side of -20 LP. We'll see what ADC Hardstuck Gold finally decides to take, because there's still several strong champions that are available. Kai'Sa's still up. You could go with the straight, I believe TSM Doubles plays the Ezreal before, though it doesn't match up as great with the Alistar. There's still a lot of options for Doublelift to pick up, and it's going to be the Vayne, which would pair very nicely with Alistar's headbutt knock-up combo. There's so much synergy between those two champions. I think they were played a ton Season 6. They were kind of like the main duo bottom lane, but unless he develops in something else, we'll see.
Yeah, Vayne into Caitlyn is always a little bit sketchy. It's definitely a disadvantageous matchup, but if Vayne can make it past about 11 to 12 minutes, get out of the laning phase, start rotating around the map, especially if they can do a lane swap and put their bot lane top at around 12 to 15 minutes, try and neutral out Seal's advantage in lane pressure. As soon as Vayne starts hitting that Blade of the Ruin King power spike, she'll really power up and then has the ability to completely carry the game from that point on.
All right, Salek picking up a classic of the Amumu. We've seen him play that champion before. There's some really good wombo combo synergy right now for Hardstuck Gold. An Amumu ulti into the Alistar, knocking 4-man, 5-man up, allowing Graves to just ult through the entire enemy team in Vayne on the cleanup. Their team fight pretty solid. However, the side of -20 LP picks up a Vladimir for the last pick from Delicious Seal. This is a new champion. We've not seen him play this champion before. We've seen him pick up a couple of other top laners. This is a new one, so we'll have to find out whether Seal, doing Sealy things as we've seen so many times before, can make it happen on a Vladimir in the top lane. For now, let's go ahead and roll through the players and their champions. On the side of Hardstuck Gold, we've got Wincarnation taking the Alistar in the bottom lane, aggressively grabbing the Ignite. Phantom of Temp on the Diana for the mid lane, wanting to make sure that she's safe, grabbing that Cleanse. XLNC Boxy with the Graves in the top lane. A little bit of a different look up there versus whatever it is that Seal may bring of that Vladimir. TSM Doublelift with the Vayne in the bottom lane AD carry role, and Salek on the Amumu in the jungle.
And for team -20 LP, we've got DRF Vigil on Zoe in the mid lane. We've got Classy Otter on Akali in the top. No, Zoe is in the support. My bad. Classy Otter with the Akali in the mid lane. We've got XLNC Xeno on Caitlyn in the bottom lane ADC role. Swipper on Jax in the jungle, and Delicious Seal rounding out the composition with Vladimir in the top lane. Now let's see about this breakdown. What do you think is going to end up happening here? Just looking at on face value, you've got a lot better picks, with the exception of Graves in the jungle. What?
No, it's a Graves top lane versus Delicious Seals of Vladimir in the top lane as well. Whereas in the jungle, a Mumu versus Jax. And the Akali going to be probably paired up against the Diana in the mid lane, and then Caitlyn Zoe bottom lane. You can see there's Zoe grabbing the exhaust. She's not great in the bottom lane supportive role, but the sleepy time is fairly nice and could be paired with the Caitlyn traps to line up multiple crit shots one after another. Harassed a little bit with the Q, and things will be going okay. Again, not the greatest support. We'll see if DRF Vigil can pull something fun out for us to watch, though.
So you actually have the classic example here. There are three metas in bot lane, or three compositions really in bot lane. You have all in, you have poke, and you have sustain. Typically the triangle goes like this: sustain beats poke, poke beats all in beats sustain. That's the kind of the rock paper scissors of bot lane. You have Alistar Vayne is an all in, but not as good until 6. And you have about as pokey as you can get with Zoe and Caitlyn. So if the way Xeno and Vigil win this lane is they poke every time. So envision in your head two people. If you're playing with a mage as an ADC, you want to stand parallel to them so that you can both focus the same target. If you're playing with a tank as an ADC, you want to position behind them. So if Alistar positions forward of Vayne and forces the all-in and allows Doublelift to get a pin against the wall very well, they can win that all-in. But if they allow themselves to get poked down by Caitlyn's and Zoe's long range, especially considering the 90 caliber net Caitlyn will allow her to bounce out of Alistar's combo if she's got really quick fingers. So all in all, this matchup comes down to skill and positioning. So perfect in the bot lane. As for Vladimir versus Graves, there's a reason Graves isn't played in lane. Because somebody with good pathing, you just stand between your minions and it eats Graves' auto
Loyalty will
so I'm
be
very
rewarded.
confused about this pickup. Now, Graves is a top-tier champion right now, and maybe Boxy knows something that I don't. is definitely a possibility. But I'm going to give that edge to Vladimir just because you have to be in a very close auto attack range to have the hope of winning a trade with Graves. But the thing is, you don't really win trades against Vladimir because, well, he just heals back up after a second. So you have the hyperscaler of Vladimir in the top lane and a hyperscaler of Vayne in the bottom lane. And then you have other possibilities. Do you see anybody else who might be able to carry this game, Jake?
Jax is one that I always keep my eye on. This is a guy who, generally speaking, can be incredibly strong. He can carry a game if he starts to get fed. A snowballing champion if he goes for the damage build. Some go for the tank build, but most often you'll see a damage build out of these guys. And if they can get a early Trinity Force and just start to smash, especially against the squishier members of Vayne or Diana, as soon as they hop in, or Jax vice versa, engages, he can say, yeah, I'll absorb some of your damage, then I'll stun you, then I'll 3-shot you, and then I'll go push your tower for free. So I think that Jax is another person to keep an eye on. And then lastly, there's always the bottom lanes for Hardstuck Gold to watch with that Wincarnation TSM double of synergy. Though, what I wanted to say on that is Team -20 LP has really good split push. Between Vladimir, Caitlyn, and Zoe, Vladimir and Zoe are pretty decent, Jax as well, at split pushing and then escaping afterwards. And Caitlyn is so good at wave clear from the mid lane on, there's a high likelihood that they could just try to split push and hold through everything else. But we'll see once we get into game how things are as we are jumping into game number 1 of the XLNC Shoutcasting experience every Tuesday night. Wraith is back. We're feeling good. It's going to be a fantastic time. Still waiting for the champions to load. We'll see what happens. There we go. Beautiful. And we didn't have any errors because, of course, we wouldn't have any errors. I knew it. It's very easy. Very, very easy.
Yep, and it is coming in right about now. Okay, so are we going to see any level 1 shenanigans? We might, there's no Reeves in this game, so the possibility of level 1 invade goes from 100% to about 50-50 as usual.
50-50.
There's a blue ping that goes down right here, but it is not acted upon. It looks like they are just going to be setting up defensive lines around the red buff from blue side and the blue side and the blue buff from red side.
Man, that Graves is really throwing me for a loop because you see him so often in the jungle. And one of the things I like about these kind of off-meta picks is that there's a really good opportunity just to confuse people like us right now, and that it's just kind of visually something that I'm a little surprised to see. I'm going to comment real quick while we're still waiting for players to get some action in the game going on, that I saw something very new, I think 2 days ago. I'd never seen it before, but apparently somebody has in there, between normal games and ranked games, something like an 80% win rate on Ivern in the top lane.
Top lane?
He takes
the
Ivern? Brush level 1, and then uses the range that Ivern gets, and the fact that he can go invisible, kind of like Shaco boxes are always annoying and around the side. He hops in and out of those brushes using the ranged auto attacks to harass his enemy out of lane, gets a laning and CS advantage, and then just keeps scaling it up. And every time anyone wants to try to dive him, he pulls out Daisy, and now it's a 2v2. It's not even a 1v2 anymore, it's a 2v2 because he's got Daisy to help him out as well. Similar in effect to the Wraith from a Yorick that likes to push the top lane. He's got a free pusher of the Daisy. It's just a unique pick that I hadn't seen before, and maybe somebody on the stream wants to decide to play it out. But in the meantime, mid lane, pretty good aggression from both sides. They're healing up using those potions. Kali's already used all of hers, as Diana had a little bit extra damage, but Wincarnation TSM double pushing the bottom lane for Hardstuck Gold.
Yeah, please don't tell them about any more of those niche picks. I don't want to see that in my solo queue games. Because one guy, you hear about the one guy who has an 80% win rate on it. You don't hear about the 50 guys who have a 2% win rate on it and still take it into rank.
Because it's Ivern top lane. I mean, nobody picks it. But I agree, if people try to play Tom Kench in the jungle and do some crazy stuff like that, that, you know, generally speaking, have a low win rate, but they find it fun to do nonetheless. So we'll see what goes on with that. As Akali goes in, getting some good damage on a Phantom Attempt, takes one turret shot, but backs out just fine.
close to even trade in on that using the turret shot. Currently, TSM Doublelift and Wincarnation doing fairly well for themselves in the bot lane, ups to CS in a matchup where he should be down about 4 right now. At this point, Caitlyn, while farming well, is not pressuring in the way that she should have, especially at level 1. With this matchup, into an Alistar, you just basically continuously auto-attack him until he hits level 2. Because he's a pincushion until level 2. He literally doesn't do anything unless he flashes on you. And, like, Vayne's level 1 damage is not amazing. So, going back to the mid lane, Classy Otter, Phantom of Temp, about even health right now. And let's take a look at the top lane where Graves is going back. Delicious Seal has the wave frozen in a very favorable spot for him.
Ooh, Akali goes in. Phantom of Temp is low. The flash forward from Swipper. He wants to find this stun. That's going to be first blood over to the side of Hardstuck Gold. They are going to get the trade onto the Akali, and Mumu picks up that kill. On the bottom side, Wincarnation going aggressive. They get the 3 shots onto Vigil, on the Zoe. The Sleepy Time will find Alistar as TSM Double finds the kill. That's what you want to see out of your bottom lane. And Alistar does a beautiful job tanking up everything from the side of negative 20 LP, giving the kill over to his 80 carry. So across the board, 2 for 2 in kills.
Yep. Summoner spells burned on both sides. Yeah, but that was a really excellent fight. I did not catch the entire thing in the bot lane, but as the mid lane, it was an excellent counter gank by Jax, turning a sure kill on Classy Otter into a 1-for-1 trade. So and the gold goes into a favorable spot. Gold onto a Jax is better than gold onto an Amumu, plus he manages to steal away the big raptor and one of the small ones. So, and gets out pretty much scot-free.
I was doing a little thing, guys. Sorry about that. For the camera, I was making sure that I can zoom out so we can get all of the vision glory when we're seeing a big team fight. Wanted to set that up before we got into team fights later on. And unfortunately, that meant we had to sacrifice Wraith's face for about 4 or 5 seconds. But he's back.
That's not an unfortunate.
Oh, fortunately, we were able to sacrifice Wraith's face.
There you go.
As Akali goes in, Phantom Temp's going to take 1 tower shot. He is fairly proficient on this Diana. We've seen him play it a couple times before. So he's feeling comfortable. He's down about 10 farmed, though. And that's just due to Akali's pressure. Every time you think that she's going out, she comes back in, hits you again, and she can clear mini waves fairly quickly with that Q.
A very good trade down from Boxy in the top lane, putting Delicious Steel down around half health. I mean, it's Vladimir, so it's kind of futile, but hey, at least he's doing some work. And that empowered Q trade onto the Graves makes all of that wonderful trading completely worthless. I hate Vladimir. If you had to ask me which is my least favorite champion, it would be Vladimir. A little bit of trading down onto Wincarnation, some poke landing, but in the most part, Doublelift and Wincarnation doing a very good job at avoiding the poke and harass. That is the way that they lose this lane. So long as they maintain a substantial health pool, they always have all-in threat.
And one of the things I want to see when Wincarnation backs next is if he decides to go with the Merc Tread boots. There's going to be some pretty good AP threat on the Akali, on the Vladimir, on the Zoe, and you want to be able to be that frontline tank, so being able to nix some of that CC between the Zoe and the Jax would be really nice. I think a Merc Tread pick could help him, even though, theoretically speaking, whoa, Akali goes deep into the mid lane, uses the Shroud to avoid some tower damage, which is going to take a second shot on the way back out. That's that harass that you want to see. Otter feeling confident on that. But as Wincarnation goes in, gets a knock up onto the Caitlyn. Sleepy Time going to find the Vayne. Doesn't matter. She's already executed and taken out Caitlyn. Beautiful job there. Picking up 1 for the side of Hardstuck Gold on the bottom, even despite getting hit by that Sleepy Time.
One of the things about the Sleepy Trouble Bubble is that while it does offer CC, and unfortunately Xeno did use that knockback his 90 caliber net in the wrong direction. Ooh. Feels bad, man.
Salic finds the bandage toss into the mid lane. Akali going to be jumping right back in. Ignites Salic. He's running out. In the meantime, TSM Double's gotten the killing spree on the bottom side due to the hyper aggression. So it's a trade 1-for-1. Bottom side support for the jungle. Hardstuck Gold, which is going to give Jack some time in the enemy jungle, taking away those wraiths. Still no one going for the Drake just yet. Caitlyn now in trouble. Still not level 6. Reincarnation is just tanking up the turret. He doesn't care. Doublelift picks up a 4th kill of the game. Phantom of Temp extremely low. Flashes away, but the auto attack from Delicious Seal will find the kill. Swipper tops over. Wants the Blast Cone to join the fight on the bottom side. He's going to find the 2. Wants to get the double stun. Only finds it on to Incarnation. The Alistar get healed from the heal from Doublelift. He's going to be in trouble though, and it looks like the Vayne, despite having 4 kills, will finally give a first death over, and Swipper gets a bunch of gold off of that one, 675 to take back when he recalls.
Yeah, proving you correct at this moment. The Jax with 3 kills and 0 deaths is going to be a monster moving into the middle to the late stages of this game. It's going to be... And okay, can we just point out the fact that the jungler has the same amount of CS as the ADC? How did that happen? Like, that's not a knock on Xeno either. He's not farming terribly for this phase in the game. I mean, you're supposed to have a bit more, but I mean, this Jax is just farming amazingly well.
A lot of that's due to the pressure of taking out the Amumu or forcing him back. He's died twice so far this game, and every time Jax goes into the enemy side jungle, picking up the Raptors, picking up the Krugs, whatever it is that he can get his hands on. And again, that's what you want to see out of a jungler. We're using the aggression when you get the kill and going in on that. There's going to be the Gunblade use on a Phantom of Temp. It's actually both the Cutlass and the Hextech Revolver as Zoe dives forward. Doesn't find anything though on Wincarnation, who's just been a beautiful tank so far this game. He decides to go the Moby's boots, so he's looking at just going super aggressive and making some plays across the map as well as the bottom side.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see from Doublelift right here. A big minion wave pushed into him, and he freezes it right in the sweet spot outside the turret. At this point, Vigil and Xeno are going to have to walk up. This wave will not shove back to them. So they're going to lose a terrible amount of CS unless they come up to challenge for this wave. I don't know. Is Xeno AFK?
He has left the game. This is a tournament draft, so they can pause it, and pretty much every player in the game knows that... There it is. All right. Beautiful. And actually, what I love about this even more is we had a game that kind of slightly got ruined by somebody going AFK, and then the character recalled before they got back into the game, and it meant that they lost about 2 to 3 waves in the bottom side and lost a ton of pressure. This being the case, once the game gets started back, which should be in just a second as Xeno did reconnect, he can just walk right back to the tower, and they haven't lost much more than maybe 1 wave, but as you were just saying, it's already pushing into Hardstuck Gold's favor, and so it's not like they actually lost that much pressure.
Yeah. At this moment, they're going to have to go down and he's going to have to break that freeze somehow, either using Zoe's range or Piltover Peacemaker, deal excessive damage to the minions, and hope Doublelift doesn't know how to counter that.
Well, and I like the Zoe roaming. Vigil's headed towards the mid lane, is around the corner, so keeping an eye on the side. There's pings as well from, I think, Salek that's saying that there's potential to come into the mid lane. We could see a 3v2 fight, Jax on the top side, so everyone could try to collapse around the mid lane. If we look at the spells real quick, the Ignite's already been used on the side of Akali, though Flash is still available to try to make a fancy play. But more importantly, Phantom of Temp, Flash has been used, so won't have that to be able to escape. And Diana, kind of, you know, needing those minions to be able to hop to when trying to escape, won't have them because if she's underneath the turret, there's no minions to hop to. Has the cleanse, so if she uses it right, should be able to escape. We'll see if they can make anything happen as Xeno seems to have DC'd once again. That's probably why we are still in the pause. So we'll keep talking about overall the game state as it is. Exactly 1,000 gold in the lead for Team -20 LP.
We are made by our
Holy
choices.
crap, Reeves, thank you for the sub of 7 months. Appreciate it. Ryan is still ADC biased. This is true. Also meant to say earlier, Evasek, thank you for the sub as well, the tier 1 sub. Appreciate you guys really helping out and joining. Reeves, this is only game number 1, so you should be able to hop into game number 2. If it isn't, command, actually, guys, the command is very simple. It's in the title. Just look at the title. Yeah, LOL Intra has it as well. Beautiful.
Yeah. So Reeves is like, yeah, I'm going to subscribe with a tier 1 sub for 7 months in a row. And then he's like, and Ryan's ADC button. Thanks, man. Love you too.
Yep.
All right. And I think Reeves is going to be the first one to hit that gold emblem for subs if he makes it to a year.
Technically, outside of myself, the Jake Kelton account, he will. He definitely has been subbed more than anyone else. Apparently, though, when they did this, which I wasn't aware of, I have, you can see there, the silver emblem as well. I am technically speaking subbed to my own channel, which means that I also get the sub badge, even though, I don't know, whatever. I actually wish that I could remove it because it seems to clutter up the chat a little bit for myself. I think all of you guys having the badges is great. For me, I want to remove it just to make mine a little more clear. But we are back in the game.
Hey, and we're back, boys.
Oh, Phantom Temp does land. And immediately cleanses it. The Zoe Paddle Star just going to land on Salic, who tanked it up nicely, making sure Phantom Temp stayed up. And yeah, so not much going to happen. So pretty much what we were talking about. Phantom Temp's flash being down, but he's got the cleanse. Cleanses it right after the sleepy time. Akali doesn't go in, and everybody walks away. And we have another DC on the side of TSM Double Lift.
I think he might be trying to even out the score.
Caitlyn, yeah, is.
What?
And Xeno's also.
Okay, what's going on?
Riot. Riot, are you messing with us? We've talked about this before, in that Riot apparently just doesn't like when we break the game on Tuesday nights. Apparently, they just don't like us breaking the game on Tuesday nights. So we'll see if they can get that fixed out. But this allows us to talk a little bit more about the game state as a whole. So, late game. Let's talk about post 30 minutes. If things continue to stay where they're at right now, Jax being 3-0, Kali 2-1, the bottom side Vayne 4-1, where do you see the game being?
Okay, so currently, you only have one advantage on the side of Hardstuck Gold, and that is TSM Double Lift here. That being said, it is a very strong advantage in the... Oh. Okay, so just...
Okay, that was just beautiful to watch. In the meantime, we'll watch this fight in the bottom lane as the game pauses for a second accidentally. Vigil's going to be sent into a wall. Beautiful play here from Hardstuck Gold, catching both members out. Will Incarnation dive the tower again? He decides to back off and play it safe, unsure of when his ADC is going to suddenly DC. Beautiful play on the top side that I just couldn't even cast because it was so sudden and hilarious. Delicious Seal flashing forward to get the kill onto Boxy Box, who just uses the ult and ignite at the last second in combination with the tower. Takes Vladimir from 3/4 health to 0 in an almost near instant.
Yeah, so that is a very interesting trade on the top side. So as you were saying, about 30 minutes, I was going to say that Double Lift here has a pretty substantial advantage, and the fact that he is Vayne is really nice because Jax is going to be targeting the ADC. We know Wincarnation. The one thing I very rarely see from Alistar's, which is why I really like watching Wincarnation's Alistar, he also knows how to peel. So it's a 4-man.
Ooh, yeah. Wincarnation might be in a little bit of trouble. He is pretty tanky, though. Starts the ultimate, pushes Zoe out of the way, says, I'm going back to my turret. Try to CC tank me all day long, and he will fall. The little bit of harass from 4 members of Team -20 LP, able to pick that up. Looks like they may be turning on to the Windrake, which would be pretty nice, especially for the Jax. And they are going to start it up. Salic around the corner has his Ignite up. Could try to steal it away. Diana here as well. I don't know if just the 2 of them, they'll be able to take on the 3 members of Team -20 LP that are here. And the call is actually to... Okay, draw it out. I was about to be surprised if it was going to be back up. Oh, so close from Salic. Goes in, gets the smite, but it's a little bit too early. He's going to trade his life over as well. So even more for the side of -20 LP, which is going to be very good for them, as a 5-1 Vayne is still something to be very scared of.
Boxy ults just to clear the wave. Double Lift gets hit by a Sleepy Trouble Bubble and a lot of damage, but
down to half
Vigil might be going down the flash over the wall, so some damage for a flash. Not a good trade, especially because Double Lift now has the Blade of the Ruin King, so that damage is not going to stick.
And what's something more interesting that I want to know is, for the bottom of Hardstuck Gold, do they decide to keep the wave and the lane as it is at the moment and not just push down that tower because they're doing very well in the 2v2? They could try to just add some more kills. It's something to think about when you're playing ranked. If you're doing really, really, really well, maybe you don't take that tower. because the enemy team is going to want to defend it, so they're going to keep coming back. And as we see now, more kills over. Zeno going to fall. He gets condemned backwards, not into the wall, but that's plenty enough for Doublelift, who decides to tank the tower as well. Incarnation a little bit outside of that. I think they are going to take the tower now. First tower gold is just going to extend their lead even more, and it's solely given over to the Vayne, which is even nicer. They're going to make their way rotating potentially towards the mid side. Salic grabs the scuttle on the top here as Vigil is going to harass him a little bit and head out. This Zoe, though, not working out super great. I love the idea of playing something a little off meta, but so far, not the greatest of showings.
Yeah, that's to be expected in this lane. Now, Swipper is in an excellent spot for himself, having picked up another kill. That is 4-0 on this this Jax. As I was saying before, though, if Doublelift has quick fingers with the condemn, he can deny Jax the instantaneous stun burst combo, which he's going to be looking for in the late game. It's very fortunate because on an ADC like Jhin, Jax gets on you and you just die.
not a whole lot that you can do.
Yeah, but Wincarnation has proven himself very adept at knocking back and knocking up people who get onto his ADC. That's something I very rarely see with Alistar, but that was done very well the last time I watched this duo play. So it looks like a rotation into the mid lane. There's a control ward in this top lane brush, so it's going to be a 4-man mid, most likely going for the tower afterward.
Oh, that's so beautiful. The pull back onto Classy Otter and the scrying used from Wincarnation to try to get some vision, forcing the flash out of the Akali, and they're going to start pushing in. Wincarnation goes in anyway. He's so tanky, he just don't care as Swipper follows up, trying to get Phantom of Temp down as well. Classy Otter goes right back in. Wincarnation still taking it up. The Amumu ult going to hold the Kali in place until she falls. TSM Doublelift needs one more shot on Wincarnation. The Silver Bolt's proc is going to fall off. Phantom of Temp going to steal that one away. Says, I've got the range, I'll take it. And that's a second charge of the Rift Herald slamming down into the mid lane, taking a second tier turret for Hardstuck Gold. And their gold just ballooned with the bottom side turret and now 2, potentially 3 turrets in the mid lane as well.
And that looks like another kill over onto Vigil. That's 3 turrets and maybe an inhibitor. Will they get more?
Oh my
They do have
gosh.
the advantage.
Yeah, this Rift Herald just continues to slam through. May finally fall. Amumu going to fall as well. So it's a buddy for buddy system there. Both little creatures going to, or Rift Herald's case, large creature, going to fall. But they have grabbed 3 turrets and an inhibitor off of a huge play from Hardstuck Gold. And I want to comment quickly on the fact that they set that play up from a while ago. Being able to use the control ward in the side brush before getting the Rift Herald meant that they could rotate from the Rift Herald directly to that side brush and know that there's no wards, no vision, and Diana, playing aggressively, is able to get the pull back and set that play up with an excellent tower dive from Wincarnation.
Yeah, I just want to comment that before that play took them from over 1,000 gold down to now almost 3,000 gold up. So that single play took them from a substantial deficit at this point in the game, and now they are well and away up. But Swipper going to jump in and just get annihilated. Will he take someone with him?
Yeah, that's the question. He tried to get a stun down, but the Alistar CC just a bit too strong. And I love the fact that Hardstuck Gold's all of their champions have some type of CC besides Graves. And when you layer an Alistar knock up, wait for it to come right back down before Diana pulls him to the side, before Amumu grabs him with a Q bandage toss, there's so much layering of CC that they can do that. You'd think that Jack should be able to at least trade for 1. He's going to fall. 4, 2, and 3 now. Has finished his Trinity Force, so feeling pretty good. The duo on the bottom side waiting for... Vigil finds a sleepy time. Alistar gets a bit of a knock-up, but though not much. Nice double man pull from Phantom of Temp. Grabs 1. Classy Otter on the Akali, escaping through the Shout for the moment. Can he get back underneath his turret? The flash forward. TSM Doublelift helps the Graves pick up the kill. Delicious Seal going to fall as well. He's using the blood pool at the moment, but perfect timing from the bandage toss of Salic on the Amumu. They're going to grab another kill, and at this point, the game seems pretty solidly in Hardstuck Gold's control, as super minions pushing on the mid side is going to keep Caitlyn there, just trying to keep them from taking over the base, and there's a 4-man push on the top side.
Oh, Salic lands a wonderful route.
Yep, another bandage toss, able to pick that one up. Zoe not close enough even with the ult. Sleepy time to find anyone. So now 5 members. Actually, I think it was 5. I just couldn't see it because they're all stacked so closely together. 5-man push from Hardstuck Gold. This is the communication you want from your team. You can tell that these players are probably all on Discord together, hopefully on my channel. They're all in communication. They know what each other are doing. They know where they're rotating to, and they are feeling comfortable with it. Maybe waiting in a brush for somebody like Vigil to come out here to their own death, but looks like the recalls will go through.
Yep. And that is, at this point, the lead is such that it's Hardstuck's prerogative to lose this game. It's their game to lose, basically. If they play cleanly from this point out, wait for Baron to spawn, set up vision, put a split pusher possibly in the side lane, either Diana or Graves, who are both in a decent position to do that. Put one in the bot lane and then set up vision, play the Baron dance out. They should win this game cleanly. Of course, we've seen so many funny things happen on this stream, and you have a fed Jax, a decently fed Akali, and a Vladimir. All of these are very good late game champions. Swiffer getting stunned up.
Yep, Phantom of Temp jumping in as well. Swiffer may be in trouble. Ignite ticking away. Looks like he'll be able to walk his way to safety. Hop himself to the Akali just to get a little extra distance. But that's his ult used. Won't have it for the next fight, though. Being able to get out even without his flash is the critical part. Mountain Drake started up. This would only even up the Drakes between these two teams. 1 win for the side of negative LP and 1 Mountain for Hardstuck Gold. But they're still feeling pretty confident. If negative 20 LP was to be able to get back into this game, who do you think they would really rely on? Because at least somebody's got to step up and start to be that carry for the team.
Jax and Vladimir are the ones I'm looking at right now. And you kind of need both. Because one entering the fight isn't really enough, because they'll get locked down by all of the CC on Hardstuck. Hold on, Phantom of Temp looks like he's about to get blown up.
Swiffer may try to find the execution, but the cleanse from Phantom of Temp keeps him safe. Swiffer on the run. He's got the blue buff, so he can jump to as many wards as he wants to, but will be able to walk his way to safety. I actually am going to give some credit over, though, to Swiffer as a whole, because he's playing super aggressive. We just saw him barely escape from a bottom side 3-member chase, or 2-member chase. Maybe he'll finally overextend. There's the knock-up. He dodges a couple of auto attacks, gets the stun down only on 2. The flash from Otter, will it keep him alive? It will not. That's going to be 2 falling, as negative 20 LP going to lose both of their jungle and mid laners. Vladimir chasing the Graves on the bottom side, but it's on to the Baron for the side of Hardstuck Gold.
Yeah, as I was saying, really hold on. Delicious Seal versus Boxy in the bottom lane. Who's going to win?
Oh, the flash forward, trying to get a flash reset auto attack from the Graves. Gets so close, but Vladimir able to just drain him of blood and take him down. The flash from Xeno keeps alive for the moment. Phantom Temp doesn't care. Exhaust goes down from Vigil. Paddle Stars for almost no damage, though, because it almost does nothing. The Zanya's used from the Phantom of Temp will keep the Diana alive. Vigil just having to skip her way out, and that's the Baron over to the side of Hardstuck Gold, so their push is going to be even stronger for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, Drowsy hit onto the Diana. Might be to death.
That was a pretty nice move by Zoe, using the ultimate as Diana was jumping forward, so that Diana's on-hit damage doesn't actually hit, and then Zoe hops back just in time for Jax to help with the kill. 19 kills to 12, but still, that is a solid 7,000 gold lead for the side of Hardstuck Gold. And just continue to stacking now they've got Baron buff.
And as I was saying earlier, you need both Jax and Vladimir there at all points. Because when Jax, you saw in that last fight, when Jax goes into the fight, he gets locked down by Alistar, pinned against a wall by Vayne. And then Amumu's changed that CC. He doesn't have, he's not immortal. He does have the counter strike to block a good amount of the damage coming through from Vayne, but it doesn't last long enough to wait out all of that CC. So there needs to be a Vladimir, a secondary threat coming through, especially one that can dodge out on some of that CC if playing well. Delicious Seal can't be in a side lane like this unless he's just crushing Boxy.
They might be able to take Boxy out, though, with Akali here as well, and the Graves will fall. Not too.
But that's going to be pushed down the mid. They have to get back now.
Yep, they don't even have Baron buff to add to the recall because Hardstuck Gold has it. 4 members here. They're looking for the inhibitor. Now, this is the second time they've taken it, though. So Team -20 LP has survived with the first time the inhibitor went down after taking it. Hardstuck Gold start to move away. They do have the side lanes pushing in their favor. They could rotate to. And it looks like they're going to send most of their team to the top side as all 5 members of -20 LP survive in the mid and just hold it after the side of Hardstuck Gold leaves.
Yeah, I was anticipating them going top lane and then rotating down to bot, but they have set -20 LP has sent Jax down into the bottom lane to clear that very large wave. But that means their strongest member is on the bot side of the map. I'm looking for Hardstuck to start a fight right now. Wincarnation pops the ultimate, goes under the tower as soon as he sees somebody. Of course, they also are missing the Graves right now, so it's even. But still, they have the advantage just because all of the gold is locked up into that Jax.
Yeah, it's a 4v4. We'll see what happens. The tower's still going to slowly lose a little bit of health off these minions. Fortunately, for the side of -20 LP, there's no cannon minion that's going to be starting that harassment barrage. And Vladimir has actually survived the last couple of skirmishes and engages, so he's been able to pick up 6 stacks on his Magi, something that wasn't the wisest to pick up super early on, but may start to be able to pan out as we do see that split push Jax we talked about super early on. In the meantime, Vigil, though, in trouble, forced to flash off to the side as well. He picked up the cleanse that Phantom of Temp used to be able to escape from the Diana's CC. Swipper being chased out on the bottom side, Vigil trying to get a little bit more poked down. Super, a little BM dancing there.
Yeah, but Boxy's playing a really clean Graves. Swipper better be careful about this.
What is he doing? I guess he's just was trying to delay time on Boxy. There's the pings as people are wondering what on earth was happening. Double Zanya's here in the mid lane. The flash forward. Salic trying to line up. His ult has already been used. A nice EC stun on Delicious Seal. Can he get the trade onto Akali, though? Otter's going to fall. So it's all up to the Vladimir and the Amumu now as they're 1v1. Caitlyn starts the ultimate, and Delicious Seal gives it to her, which is potentially good or bad, hard to say, because you don't want your Caitlyn to be worth gold, but you want her to finish the second item.
Yeah, no, if I was Seal, I would have taken that just because the Magi's gives you more stacks on the kill. Or it used to. Hold on, let me read that again. Yeah, 4 glory for a champion kill. He should have kept that for himself. Because really you're relying on Seal and Jax to do crazy amounts of damage. And Swipper giving over that kill in the bottom lane, very confusing. I get that there's a little bit of BM going there, a little bit of dancing. I think he underestimated the fact that Graves has a good amount of ability damage and he can't dodge out on all of it. Swipper walking forward into Wincarnation. I think he's posturing to make them think that he has a little bit of support. Vigil on the bottom side.
Yeah, so there's potential that he does have support of that Zoe. A little bit of that BM dancing. Wouldn't mind a little bit of Swipper murder. We'll see if Hardstuck Gold decides to go in.
He's got support this time, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's the 2 members, the duo from the side of Hardstuck Gold. They're gonna dodge out on the sleepy time from the Zoe. Swipper gonna get sunned up into a wall with a nice condemn. He's gonna fall very quickly, dodging out a couple more auto attacks. Hops away, but a nice last barb from the Vayne gonna finish him off, so take him out. And that's gonna be a Mountain Drake, a second one for the side of Hardstuck Gold as their push and siege continues. Wincarnation tries to step forward, absorb some of the damage from Vigil. Battlestar gonna chunk Phantom of Temp down pretty low though. Caitlyn starts the ultimate. The shield from Phantom of Temp will keep him alive, but Vigil around the corner could continue to chase this one in. Throws out a short paddle star, but gets the return kill. Diana diving straight back in because a very short range paddle star not going to do that much poke damage. Vladimir rushing forward with the Predator, just gets condemned right backwards with the third shot, can't find him. And yeah, Vladimir does with the ultimate get the trade of kills, and so the Vayne will fall. Wincarnation going to fall as well, and the Alistar, but the push from Hardstuck Gold on the bottom side. They got 2 members here. Salic tanking up the turret. Not sure he meant to do that, but will allow them to get a couple extra shots on it. Well, I gotta say though, from the side of -20 LP, they're doing a really good job holding. I mean, this is the second time they've lost a middle inhibitor and not lost anything else afterwards.
Yeah, this is the scaling thing that I would be a little bit afraid of if from the side of Hardstuck. Vladimir and Jax are both monsters in the late game. Late game Akali is now very strong. You also have late game Caitlyn, which is nothing to shake a stick at. They have great scaling coming out of this. Diana kind of falls off a little bit if she's not trying to one-shot a target. She'll probably be picking on Zoe, but Zoe's not really worth any gold at this point. But Graves is also really strong late game. But really, you've got Graves and Vayne who are your late game carries versus a Vladimir, a Caitlyn, and a Kali, and a Jax. So I'm giving the late game scaling advantage over to -20 LP.
And I think that's where the gamble from Vladimir may pay off. You want Caitlyn to get to 3 items. That's one of the things with the ADCs and the changes on their items is you really need to hit that 3 item spike. Grab that Infinity Edge after getting your initial damage. Get that crit stacking. She's already got a BF sword, so she's headed in the right direction. And the putting extra gold on your ADC, making them gold viable again is not great when they're 0-4, but the Vladimir decided to gamble it and said if we can keep this Caitlyn alive, we'll be able to help her finish her 3rd item that much faster. With that kill, she got a 2nd item, now a BF sword as well, and continues to scale up. We'll see if a fight breaks out here though.
Yeah, Swipper with the BM might be throwing a little bit. He's put himself into a couple of questionable situations that got him killed. Now he might end up baiting them in a good situation. We'll see how that goes. But if he gets pinned against that back wall by double lift again, that could be the end of the game.
Yeah.
There's an open inhib, and only 2 Nexus turrets standing between Hardstuck and the victory.
Double If it has some really good condemns, really good positioning to be able to find those. I loved it on the Vladimir when he was trying to engage with the Predator boots, despite still falling to that Hemoplague. Zoe finds Sleepy Time, but again, Incarnation steps in front, able to absorb that. So there's a little bit of just kind of baiting around the Baron now. Both sides kind of trying to vie for positioning, get a little bit of vision, see what harassment you can do. And -20 LP wants the pick comp. Zeno almost immediately taken out, is able to use the heal to survive. Hasn't used Flash yet. Sleepy Time on Phantom of Temp won't find much. But with Caitlyn being forced to back out, that means that Baron's on the table for Hardstuck Gold.
Yeah, and Boxy did flash forward to try and get that execute. Didn't quite find it, but forced out the heal from Zeno.
Yep, and now the side of -20 LP comes in. Jack straight into the middle.
The steal!
He steals it away as well. Beautiful play there. The rest of the team trying to get in as well. Caitlyn's not here for the fight, though, and that means that one has already fallen. Phantom of Temp flashing forward. Swipper trying to finish him off. This Zanya's used by the Akali. Can Swipper get out? Nope, he's going to fall. Otter's in the middle of everything. Vigil finds some pretty good burst damage from the side, but the Vayne has already fallen. That means there's a pretty good chance with Zeno being full health on this Caitlyn that -20 LP could win the fight. Phantom of Temp, though, may be able to dash in, finds 1 kill. Phantom of Temp so low. There's the 1 kill. Zeno wants to finish the rest of the members off, takes out 2, uses the ultimate. Incarnation is not going to die to that.
Zeno
could
with
be
the
a
pop
90
off.
caliber net, and oh, so close. Tried to use the net plus the Piltover's Peacemaker to be able to get the kill. Didn't quite happen. Even still, though, beautiful play from Team -20 LP, despite being a 4v5, and Jack stole away the Baron, so now they're free with 2 members to push down the mid lane.
Yeah, and Classy Otter really knocked out Double Lift in that fight, using his burst damage along with Vigil to neutralize Double Lift in that fight. Those were the deciding moments right there. Then Caitlyn joined the fight on the rear end after all of the threats had been neutralized and just played cleanup crew there. So some really excellent play from both sides during that. But I think the MVP for that fight has to go over to Swipper for that Baron steal, because even if they do win what it was looking like is a Baron steal and then a lost fight afterward. Can't tell you how many times I've seen Baron stolen away and then, well, the team who stole it just gets wiped and the game ends anyway. But it looked like a Baron steal and then kind of like a 2v everybody hold. But it ended up being a Baron steal and a positive fight for the side of -20 LP.
So feeling pretty good after that. They're trying to even up the gold, still down 2,000 gold, but just overall feeling more confident. And Zeno back into the game. 3.5 items now completed up against the 4 items of the Vayne. She's still extremely strong, but a huge part of that was after the fight broke out and the members of Hardstuck Gold cleaning up the Jax started pushing hard into the jungle. It was the Vladimir that was able to help find the kill onto TSM Doublelift, take him out early, which meant that Xeno was able to just harass away. We could see negative 20 LP with the collapse now as multiple members are going to come in. There's the Predator from the Delicious Seal. Tries to get in immediately, though. That is the blood pool, but Graves is already gone. Good damage from Vigil with the burst as well. Amumu ult's not going to save him. He's going to fall as well. Otter's extremely low, but it doesn't matter. Flashing some extra swag there as 3 members quickly falling from Hardstuck Gold. This might actually be the game. Wincarnation knocking Swipper back. Not much of an engage there. Vigil doesn't even find the sleepy time, but Doublelift in trouble though. Tries to tumble away to safety, but Delicious Seal with another last Q, able to take him out. Wincarnation going to follow as well, and that will be the ace for the side of negative 20 LP. They held on so long through the mid game into the late game, and now 5 and 4 on the Caitlyn, 8 and 3 on the Vladimir. They might be able to finish this game off.
Yeah, 15 seconds. They might go for the end here. They have 5 members. 3 are coming up. This is a risk, but I think they can take it.
Yeah, especially with the Jax and a Vladimir that can tank it up. Zoe just causing a little bit of trouble from the side, but everyone turns and focuses on the Nexus. Just kidding. They had to take out the Diana. Add an extra kill to Xeno's stats. Make him look not quite as bad before the game ends, which is a little bit of a big deal for poor Xeno, who had a rough time through the early side of the game.
All right. Well, that was a really good game, despite all of the excitement. It ended up going the way of negative 20 LP, despite the early game. So we're going to be doing MVPs, honorable mentions, and shoutouts. So for the losing team, Hardstuck Gold, we're going to be giving the honorable mention goes over to TSM Doublelift. Good Vayne positioning, getting fed, and obviously dealing the damage, being the central focus of the enemy team, still managing to only die 4 times despite having multiple assassins and people diving onto him. Well played, well positioned. However, the MVP goes over to Wincarnation. The reason Doublelift was fed is because Wincarnation's Alistar is clean as possible. That was really amazing to watch. Now, I have to give a shout out to Phantom of Tempt on this Diana in the mid lane. Very surprising and pleasantly surprised. I haven't seen Diana in a very long time, but him making it look easy playing against one of the most broken champions in the game right now, and that Akali. And also, Boxy in the top lane, taking an unconventional pick against a very powerful champion and making it work several times in the late game. So like to see that. Anyway, but now for the winning team, that's going to be negative 20 LP. This is kind of tough. MVPs and honorable mentions. I think there are 2 candidates for this right now. The honorable mention, I think, has to go over to Delicious Seal, and the MVP to Swipper. Now, those 2 could be interchanged pretty well. Delicious Seal carried the team fights, but Swipper had that Baron steal, and he was the bright point in those early to mid-game fights. So really, I think Swipper kept them in the game, and then that Baron steal at the very end is the one that gets him the MVP. But Delicious Seal carrying those team fights, blowing up Doublelift and Boxy in the fights, really removing the damage sources in a very, very good way. Also, of course, managing to make Majaya's work a complete disrespect, buying it early into the game, stacking it up, and then using it to destroy the enemy team. Of course, kind of buying Majaya's in the early game is like, I'm going to crush you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like when your opponent starts Dark Seal in lane. Okay, no. We need to have a rule that whenever Seal plays an AP mage, he has to start Dark Seal.
Has to start Dark Seal.
Dark Seal. Okay.
Oh, I see. I see.
All right. So those are your MVPs, honorable mentions, and I do want to give a shout out over to Zeno, despite getting completely